Hey, what's up, everybody? This is another entry into Extra Level, and I'm joined by Wiley and Tyler here. One of our two of our main guys. Wiley behind our podcast, and Tyler, the executive producer behind making sure all the layouts, all the graphics, all the nice little things are running and tuning fine. And we are going to be talking about Cyber Shadow. Nothing too crazy because we're going to have more discussions about it at in the Level with You show, which is every Tuesday at 5:30 ish. 5:45 is the latest, hopefully most of the time, and maybe possibly a review video. And Cyber Shadow is a game developed by Mechanical Head Studios and published by Yacht Club Games. So what's up, guys? How's everybody doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Yeah. So far, so good with the game. I'm already halfway done. I know Tyler sped through it as usual. Hit credits yesterday.
Yep. It's been a solid game. Excited to talk about it. Give my impressions. I'll try and be as least spoilery as possible.
Now that's perfect. That's perfect. We'll save some of the spoilers for reviews, so people could check that out, or you might leave it spoiler free. Who knows?
We'll see. It's kind of hard to not spoil anything because you want to talk about all the upgrades, which really is what's pushing me forward and making the game really stand out. Is that you start out with nothing but a slash, where
Yep.
you got jump and slash, and that's it. Very old school Ninja Gaiden-esque. And not only is it just a slash, it's a forward slash. So you got these flying enemies that are knocking you off your perch, which can get pretty frustrating if you're not used to that type of game. But the way that you're evolving as it goes is I think pretty darn well done.
Yeah, for sure. And I would agree that I'm pretty sure probably about like 80% of my deaths in this game are because an enemy has hit me into spikes. And that's like the majority of my deaths in this game.
Yeah, I think Wiley had mentioned in the chat the flies, right, Wiley?
Yes.
I think those took me out a lot because I think that I'd be jumping and then they'd bump me back, and here I am in the spikes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm jumping and I miss my forward swing on them, and I'm in the spikes because they bumped me. And it was insane. I was like, wait a second, why are they bumping me so far back? These flies don't look big.
Yeah.
They don't look that menacing. Why is my guy jumping back like 3 feet after getting hit by them?
Yeah, I had that same thought. I'm like, I'm supposed to be a cyber ninja, and I'm getting bumped back like 2 feet by these freaking flies.
They're cyber flies.
So definitely one of those things. How everybody felt when they first booted the game up. Like, I know I was talking to Tyler about the music right off rip. You get into that title menu, and the music is instantly trying to grab you and hype you up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the title menu music didn't really grab me, but as soon as you get into like that first level where you're actually controlling Shadow, the music is just like boom in your face. I'm like, oh yeah, like let's go.
Yeah, it's got a great 8-bit, chiptune soundtrack. I wouldn't put it on par with either The Messenger or Shovel Knight personally.
Okay.
I think it's definitely has its high moments for sure. And I think the music does definitely a great job of setting the tone and everything. I do think the one area of the game that is a little bit weak is the writing and the just sort of personality overall. I think it's a little bit, I don't know, like it doesn't have really a sense of humor at all. I'm not feeling any real connection with, this person that I'm supposed to be, my master that I'm trying to go save. It just sort of seems like a little bit of missed potential as far as the story goes. I don't know. What did you guys think as far as the story went?
Yeah, I mean, it's a short game, and I will admit as well that the story wasn't what was grabbing me at all. I didn't even really know what exactly the plot line really was until maybe like a couple levels in. And I mean, I think you guys have figured it out by now that you're trying to rescue like your partner, who was like this girl. But yeah, I didn't figure that out until a while in.
It's blue hologram that
Yeah.
I just finally got to in my game.
Yeah, honestly, you are right. The storytelling is weak to the point where sometimes I find myself just smashing the A button, trying to flip through it quick. and be like, yeah, you know what, that put me back into the action. Let's flow through.
And there's like a number of like computers that like you can log into, and it gives you some type of like background information. I feel like those don't really add a whole lot to the story itself. It's just like, okay, cool, whatever. Continue on.
I've honestly been clicking them just in case there's an achievement that says, "Oh, read every a computer entry," just in case. I was gonna ask Tyler. I know that you, apart from me and Wiley, we started off with the controller. You started off mouse and keyboard. How did the change? How big was the field change for you when you did that?
Yeah, playing with well, I mean, you don't play with mouse. It's only with keyboard. So you play with the arrow keys to move left and right, and then there's really just two buttons, like Z and X on the keyboard, that you use to jump and attack.
Oh man!
And I just felt like it definitely was not as fluid trying to do that, and I was just too lazy to plug in the Xbox controller into my computer and play it with that. So I finally
it's a long walk to the coffee table.
Yep.
So I finally just got to the point where I plugged in the Xbox controller, and it felt like so much more fluid using that.
Will you say it was the water boss that forced you into that predicament?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I just couldn't like move around like enough, or like get to a good like vantage point to fight him when I was using the keyboard. I would definitely recommend using a controller to play this game.
Nice.
Sure.
What about you, Wiley? How was that water boss for you? How did that treat?
So the water boss, definitely, at first I was struggling a lot, but then I figured out a pretty good way to take him out. It's hard to keep jumping and slashing and getting to his, the boss is like a Gyarados from Pokemon. And you only can attack him when he opens his mouth, and you only have a few seconds to do it because he shoots lasers out of his mouth or shocks you. But if you get right under him and do the down B where you're doing the flames up, you can take him down pretty quickly doing that. So probably took me 7 or 8 tries, but it wasn't too bad. The bosses in general have been a really nice balanced difficulty, and I like how some of them have extra phases and they do it like seamlessly within the health bar, so you're not like, oh yeah, I did it, and then he comes back again, which can be frustrating. And I think they do that maybe once, but
yeah, that was Smasher. That was the one that I actually even saw a clip of somebody online on Twitter. They posted they thought they beat him. They had one sliver of health left. His armor breaks, and then he jumps out and does that quick attack as he's jumping out of his armor.
Yep.
KO'd him. I was like, wow, what a way to lose.
I think that's pretty a Castlevania thing where, like, once you kill a boss while they're exploding, there's a chance for them to take you out.
Yep. I definitely will say that it's I love hearing the difference in how we might have managed the strategy against somebody, because the water boss, aka Cyber Gyarados, right? We're gonna call him. I took him out by zoning him. So because when the little minions that are floating around, every single time you destroy them and then attack the propeller on the platform, it gives you SP.
Yep.
So I just from afar just jump up and throw like 3 daggers, and then jump up again 3 daggers every single time it opened its mouth, and I think I took 1 hit that whole match with him. Then once I figured out, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna zone him. I was like, no, I'm taking too many hits. I'm too impatient when I'm underneath. I'm trying to do what you were saying, Wiley. And I think my impatientness was making it so that I was trying to get some extra hits in, even though I knew he was gonna attack me, and I was dying. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna zone him. I think that's the best chance I have to deal with being impatient and trying to get extra hits in while also staying alive. And just did it like that. So I always make sure there was a platform for me to jump off of or jump onto when he was trying to do the shock in the water. And then I figured out fairly quickly that if I jumped into the water when he was going to do the fire breath and then started swimming towards him, I wouldn't get hit by the fire either. So it was pretty good. I felt very good about that strategy of just zoning him, that just chipping away, and just, fire into the water, not fire, stay on platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
I want to know what you guys think about like the tools and the gadgets that you can get.
Yeah, I was hoping that we would discuss that. Uh, I think they're really well done, and at times when you
Yes.
get them, you're like, wait, this is super OP. Like this game just became
Yeah.
trivial.
Mm.
Like the swag blade.
Oh my
The
gosh,
Swag
that
Blade
that,
is
that
my
was
favorite
nuts.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the swag blade is this thing that essentially your momentum is controlling where this thing that is going up and down all across the screen, uh, and taking enemies out that you're not even necessarily aiming at because it's got a pretty big area of effect and just it looks cool. And compared to just your quick slash, it's just very out there and really you're not able to use this all the time. Like it's not one of your permanent upgrades. There's sort of
Yep.
level specific and area specific, and I think it's really neat how they tend to actually provide a real benefit where you are. Like that
Mhm.
one flying boss early on, like maybe the second or third level boss, where he's a good deal of height above you, and if you're just using your sword, it's real tough. But when you've got the swag blade, you just run across the map and you're whacking them constantly.
Yeah, that upgrade was really cool too. Um, One thing that you didn't mention is that when its momentum is coming like back towards you, you can hit it with your own sword to send it like flying in a straight path.
Did not know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that came in handy a lot of times for me.
I was
Um,
gonna mention that. Yep.
That's neat. The shield's pretty good too. Uh,
yeah, what else do they have? They have like a sword extension, which I feel like is pretty useless.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely the least fun of them all.
They have a charge, like a charge beam thing. I'm not sure if you guys have found yet. But yeah, like they are very level specific. Um, and the checkpoints in each of the levels, you're able to purchase one of these gear items for 50. I mean, I'm not sure what the currency's called, but whatever it is, 50 points.
Yep.
I always have just enough currency. There's never been a time where I've not been able to buy something that I needed. So I think that they do a good job of spacing that out. So
Yeah, I felt like that earlier on, but I think later on you
Mhm.
may start running out.
Yep.
Because there have been plenty of instances where I've just said, all right, I have to skip getting the upgrade or skip getting like the health regen, like when I respawn at this one because I just didn't have enough.
Yeah. I felt the same way. Yeah, actually, chapter 5, on the tail end of it, I didn't have any currency for one of them, and I was like, "Wow!" I was like, I'm like, whatever. I keep dying, so I'll keep dying and keeping my currency. So sooner or later, I'm gonna have some for the health recovery. And once I did, kind of helped out because I was missing like 4 or 5 bars of health, and all I needed to do was get hit 2-3 times, and I was dead. So it definitely made a huge difference in being able to pick up those things at the checkpoints. I think that's a neat addition. I feel as though I don't play these games often, so finding that and having that available to me made it even more like, hey, I'm enjoying this game. I can play this game. I'm not getting too frustrated at times.
speaking of
So
games of this type, and I just was a brief aside, but I saw that the Castlevania collection that has like 8 of the games is currently on sale for $5 on PSN. So I might do that just to sort of see some more 8-bit inspiration.
Nice. Yeah, and
nice.
speaking of inspiration, I feel like this game took like a lot of inspiration from like the Mega Man X series, particularly like the original Mega Man X. I'm not sure. Have you guys played that?
I actually have not.
No, me neither. I
Well,
know I've seen some videos on it, but with the other people playing and some people trying to speed run it, but
I
no, never done
mean,
it.
just in terms of just like the atmosphere, like the scenery is all very similar. I mean, in Mega Man, like everything's like robotic,
Okay.
and same thing with Cyber Shadow, all the way down to like I think there's like a particular chapter where just the chapter itself like is very reminiscent to like the first level of Mega Man X, like the way that the structures are colored and how they look, to even just like kind of like how you progress is like very similar to Mega Man X.
Hmm.
I mean, same thing goes for like the power-ups that you receive after every chapter, after every boss you beat, you get a new ability, which I think is very reminiscent of the Mega Man series. Every time you beat a boss, you get whatever their upgrade ability is. So I think it drew a lot of inspiration from Mega Man X, and that series in particular.
Did Mega Man X stray from the the old school Mega Man, the really old school Mega Mans that where you could choose what bosses you took on in any specific order, or what did it still have that?
It still had that. Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
I have it on the Super NES Classic, so I think it's on there.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool.
So I would
Right.
definitely recommend trying that if you like Cyber Shadow. There's other similarities as well, but I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, let's not do too many spoilers. Wiley, real quick, I know you had mentioned that this game was made by a one-man team.
Yeah, so I believe that a Finnish guy named Aarne had been working on it for a few years. I think he first revealed it at PAX East 2019. I don't know what went on behind the scenes, but he decided to join the Yacht Club family. Their in-house music guy provided the tunes, and
Okay.
they consulted on the game design. So I don't know how much of the Shovel Knight team influence was there. It's definitely quite different than Shovel Knight. And when I first heard of this game a couple months ago, and I heard that it was Yacht Club, and I didn't really look into it, I was like, whoa, how did I miss this? The true spiritual successor to Shovel Knight. Like, the game's totally not that, but it's a similar benchmark in quality. I still prefer Shovel Knight. That's really one of my favorite, probably top 25 games of all time, but this one's definitely worth your time if you're a fan of the genre.
Nice. Yeah. So I'm guessing, right? This is definitely a game we recommend off of Game Pass. And anybody that has Game Pass, install it, play it, take the time out, enjoy it, right?
I would say for anybody that is not challenge averse, the game is hard. If you're not into these type of games, maybe you can skip it. But I think for the majority of folks that are willing to give it a go, willing to die a few times, that
few hundred times.
Yeah, I was gonna say die 183 times at least. That's the benchmark. I know I'm flying past 183. So if I ever do beat the game, I'm very interested in seeing what my number is gonna be. I'm taking a prediction, and I'm saying around 350.
Mhm.
I wish I had known that it tells you that. I really don't like when games do that.
Why? I think it's awesome.
Why? Because I don't want to. Because dude, in Celeste, I'm well over 2,000 at this point, and it's just like,
Yeah. Well, it doesn't tell you until the very end. So.
okay, well, that's not so bad. If that actually does make a difference.
Yeah.
A little less demoralizing that way.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
You
if
only
I
find
would have,
out-
I was gonna say I would have guessed that I died more times than I thought I did, or than I actually did.
Okay.
There's been a couple times where I know we're wrapping up, but there's been a couple times where I was like halfway dead, and I had just started to a checkpoint. I was like, I'm just gonna jump off this cliff because I know I'm not making it to the next
Yeah.
checkpoint.
There's no consequences.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, I'll just go back to the checkpoint. I'm actually one of those people, right? That if I open a way to loop back to a checkpoint, I'm definitely looping back real quick and grabbing whatever upgrades I bought. If I bought all three things there, like the SP recovery, health recovery, and whatever the gadget was, I'm running right back, and I'm like, forget it. I opened up a shortcut. I'll go pick this up and then run to the next point.
Yeah, I like the shortcuts, a little bit of Souls-like vibes from those shortcuts you uncover.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's unlike Souls or like Bloodborne, because if you do go to a checkpoint, the enemies that you killed are still gone. I mean, if you're in like the same screen, if you go from one screen out into back in, then the enemies respawn.
Yeah, I did notice that. I was like, wait a second, why are these enemies back? Because I just did it actually in chapter 5. I was able to loop back, and I was like, I beat that boss I was telling you about. And I'm like, yeah, let me loop back. I opened up a way to loop back. Let me go pick up some health, some upgrades, some SP. And I'm like, why are the enemies here? I'm like, whatever. It's just 2 enemies. I'll kill them real quick and keep running.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think this is about it, guys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a good first impressions. Hopefully me and Tyler can get a video review out. No promises, but I don't see why not.
And
as long as I beat it.
Hey, yeah. Well, you'll definitely beat it. I think these games are right up your alley, so you'll sit through. It's the weekend, so you're not working. So in between all your whatever you got planned, I'm pretty sure you'll start pumping through chapters.
Yeah, I mean, I beat it in like 6.5 hours. Kenny was saying that there's an achievement to beat it in under 3 hours, so that's probably definitely doable.
Exactly. Yeah, because I think from here on out, once you finish chapter 5, and chapter 5 gives you the last upgrade, right, Tyler?
I think so.
Yeah, so you'll beat it, and then you'll have all your upgrades and start running through it. Close to the end of it, so I'm hoping I get through the same thing where the second half of the game, I start kind of picking up the pace and start ramping it up, hopefully. But we'll see. As Tyler said, the platforming gets harder, so that's my weakness in life. That's my kryptonite, is platforming. But yeah, honestly, if anybody who is watching wants to ask any questions, make sure to leave it in the comment below. You could join our Discord, link in the description, right? And ask us questions there if you want the guys to answer a specific Cyber Shadow question on Tuesday on the Level With You show, which I remember it's live at 5:30 to 5:45 is the latest, like always. It depends on how we get in, any technical difficulties, but do tune in live on YouTube, live on Twitch, and it's also, if Wiley lets you guys know, on all podcast services, right? Most major ones.
Most of them. If there's any ones that it's not on, let me know and I'll get it up there.
Perfect. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And we're going to be doing more of these extra levels. Going to switch around who I have on. Most of the time it might be me and Anthony, might have Wiley jump on every once in a while, Tyler jump on, some people from the Discord to jump on. But I do enjoy and thank you for giving me your time, guys.
Yeah, sure thing. Happy to. It was good discussion.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good game. Good friends. See you guys later.
See you later. Bye.